GSD that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities are not. So with that, I have my incredible guest, Rishabh Gupta. He is an expert in things like the token economics. He's a director of operations at TDeFi and a visionary of the Web3 realm. He's driven by a belief in harmonious spirituality with technology. Ooh, I love that. To unleash the human potential. He's got a large portfolio spanning over 60 startups, and he likes to scale ventures, from one to unicorn or decacorn, viewing each journey as a testament to innovation. He focuses on token engineering, looks at things like game theory and blending the economics and the financial models to underscore a commitment to sustainable growth in decentralized space. So he's previously at OYO Rooms. He did negotiation skills and customer-centric approaches there. And that company is now Decacorn. He does have an MBA in finance from IIT Kanpur. Ooh, love IIT and IIM. And he's doing a CFA level 3. So with that, I'd like to bring Rishabh on board. So how was it like at IIT, Rishabh?
Hey Gary, thanks for the detailed introduction. Hey everyone, it's a pleasure to be here. I've been previously attending a lot of demo days hosted by GSD Ventures, and I can, with all my experience, I can say that I've seen some of the best startups coming up at these demo days. It's a great work by GSD Venture Studios there to bring startups from their build phase to the scalability, and then from thereafter getting them to the enterprise phase. So experience at IIT was an amazing,
Now, was it hard to get in?
Have...
Was it difficult to get in IIT? Now, be honest with me. How hard was
it? So, in simple words, I'll say, if you like something, then you eventually don't find it hard. So, once you're preparing for the exams, for doing your masters and for your, for your exams, I don't think it was hard. Yes, the exam is competitive. Yes, there are many people applying for it. Yes, it's challenging, but because I like what I do, so it wasn't hard in term. It was challenging for sure.
Now I got a question for you.
And life at IIT. Yeah.
So I went out to lunch with a number of IIT graduates out in Silicon Valley, and there was something very interesting. There was one of them that had the number one test score as the entrance exam, and they revered him. He was like God to them. Is it that hard to get in?
That's true. I mean, getting in the, if you're the top ranker, you are essentially.
They were going like this. I never seen anything. Could you like some more tea? Can I get you something here? You want some naan bread? I mean, I never seen anything like it in my life.
No, that's true. It's one of the most toughest exams, by the way. After I'm not sure if you know, but there are over 1.2 million people appearing for it, or 1.5 million people, and only couple of thousands get into it. So the ratio is less than 1%.
Now, did you have a big party the day you got in? Did you celebrate? When you got accepted,
yes.
Was it a big party with your buddies? Yeah, you said,
yes. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so that was lovely. But I think that was after that, like I was giving a keynote at one of the universities last month, and I was I said that life after your college starts from zero again, right? So you again go back to the same days where you are learning from the people around you, you're learning from your seniors, you again become a junior. After graduating, you again become a junior. So that's I've taken a lot of turns. Life has taken a lot of turns and pivots after my studies as well. So yeah.
But it sounded like you really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. The one thing that I have been fortunate about is I've enjoyed every moment and everything that has happened, good or bad, no matter what. Been obviously, you cry, you laugh, but I enjoy. It's that's how life has been. It's been fortunate and pleasant from that point of view, and from that.
Now, did it help you? Did IIT help you when you were going out to the world? Does it help you get the better job in India? I know it does in the U.S., but did it help you there?
So to be honest, one that I always say this, one thing that really happens when you are in such institutes is you get the best network. You get to build the meet the best people that are the alumni. You get into the alumni network. So just yesterday I was in Hong Kong and I met one of my fellow alumni from a different city, but IIT itself, and he was like, I wanted to. So there is a huge, like a large hospital chain in the country, over hundreds of hospitals, and he was telling me that he faced some difficulties. So he said he just posted in a group that, hey, anyone from this hospital, and I need some help. And one of his college seniors replied, God damn it, yes, I am there. I'm the MD of the company. Tell me what you need. Like from that hospital chain. So the alumni was one of the MDs of the company, like the MD of the company, and immediately his case was solved. Everything was on to him. So the alumni network really helps a lot. The largest funds today have, and largest companies have CXOs from these institutes. So that alumni network helps a lot. I'll not lie about it.
No,
So
that's
we do
it.
have
It sounds like
leverage
you
there.
really enjoyed it. So, what do you do? I'm just really curious. What do you do for free time? I mean, it's such a competitive school. Do you have any time to do anything interesting?
Oh, that was 8 years ago. So I actually, it's life has taken so many turns after that, that rather now I can talk about what I do now when I get some free time. Actually, not free time, but I take out time for that. So it's a few years ago when I was all into this crypto markets and working with startups. So it was challenging, and it was definitely at a point you felt like, what, there's something missing here. There's something which I'm not able to understand, because there are people that are everyone has been given same potential, everyone has been given same brain, but there are people that are outperforming. So there's something, that there's a science behind it. So I started researching. So I ended up learning about spirituality, and that's what I started learning more about, getting deep into. So practicing meditation to understand and unlock the power mind has, to be more conscious in every state of, in every part of the day, to be more aware about what's happening around you. And that gave me a lot of more things to do in my free time, meeting people, learning more about them, being aware. So instead of going and reading 10 books, I'm not saying that reading books is not good. I do read books as well, but I like to have conversations with 10 people to learn more about them, and to be just to hear about them and be conscious about what's happening. So I think that has been my thing that I've started doing in the past few years, other than what I do in my professional life of working with startups, and then learning about founders and their journey. So I call this experience as, whenever I'm asked this question on stage about what is it one thing that you really like about your job and about your career, and I say this, money is secondary. Yes, definitely like the money in it, but most importantly, what I like is that I talk to the founders, because when you meet these founders, and then when they tell you about why they want to build this company, what is it that is driving them, what is the motivation force behind them, I am amazed. I'm regularly. I have stories that if I can start sharing, probably I'll spend another 6 hours with you, and I'll still be just 10% down. But the
Can you hear me?
yeah, the stories of the founders, how why they ended up doing what they're doing, and how they tackle the challenges in their lives, and the stories are, they're inspirational. So this is what I do, other than my job. I talk to founders just to understand about their
And
life.
so, when you're going down through, what are some of the things you found in founders? What makes a successful founder? What kind of characteristics do you
Oh,
find?
that's an amazing question. I think uh, one common characteristic that I found in successful founders in a long run. So there are two kind of successes, right? A lot of founders believe that if they have raised funds, that's success for them. I'm sorry to reveal the fact, it's not. Even if you have raised hundreds of $1 million, no, that's not success. The success would be once you have built a company that is operating without your intervention, that is scaling without your presence. and you are just being there in your presence, guiding them with the vision, not the one executing on ground, not the one taking all the decisions. When you have built that kind of a company, that's where you are successful, because now you have built an empire, an enterprise, and it's not just a startup operating out of a founder's office. So one common characteristic that I've found came across is the reason of building that company. One the first question that I ask my all whenever I'm doing the due diligence, whenever I'm meeting the founders, is why are you building this? Why are you doing this? If your question is I'm here to solve, I'm here to I found a gap and I want to solve this. Okay, with that reason, you'll be able to close your first round of funding or second round of funding. But are you really feeling that problem? Are you really driven by the challenges that the others are facing because of that problem? If that's the case, then no matter what, you will find a solution to it, right? No, you will. If not plan A, then plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, plan F, plan G, plan H. You'll find a solution to it. One common thing which I found is, can you hear me well?
Yeah, you
Mic
froze
check.
for a second, Rishabh.
Okay. Yeah. So one common thing is about their why, right? Not the what, but the why. Like in the words of Simon Sinek, why.
Hmm.
That's one thing. Second, I think EQ. So another thing that we do with our startups is we make a decision of investments after at least 5 to 6 meetings, and preferably a couple of in-person meetings. The reason is IQ, fantastic. If you have a great IQ, I'm sure you'll build up, you can be a scientist. But if you want to be a great businessman, then you need to have an EQ. You need to have a balance of emotions, how you react to situations when you are, and when you end up, when you're being, when your best employee is being poached by the competitors, how you react to that situation. When you are when your client says, oh, this is a shitty product, I don't like it, how you react to that situation, how do you take the feedback? When your investor
I
tells you,
think
oh, you
that
know what.
meditation is helping you with that. I think the reason you do meditation is it gives you balance, doesn't it? How important is the
No,
meditation
absolutely.
to make to being an entrepreneur?
I think it's as important as to drink water for an
Hmm.
entrepreneur, right? It's as important as to do that team huddles every day. Why do you do a team huddle every day as an entrepreneur? Because you want your team to be aligned. Similarly, you want to meditate because you want your mind and body to be aligned. There is immense amount of power unlocked in a human body, in a human brain, right? And it's just a matter of that, how you are able to unlock that. And the only way you can unlock it is when you close your eyes, you shut your eyes, and you shut down from the world for some time, and then you go deep and understand, okay, I let me connect with my inner source of energy, and then let me redirect that energy to build what I am building. All the founders, all the successful founders, if you meet them and you ask them, do you go to mountains? Do you meditate? Do you spend some time with the water and with the rivers, with the trees? Either of these options, they'll say yes, one of these options, because all of these are a state of meditation. You
Yeah.
don't always have to sit in the mountains. You always don't have to go to the mountains. You can also spend some time by a river body, sitting there, feeling the five elements of your body. And you spend some time around fire, you spend some time around water, you spend some time around air, and that's how you connect. That's how you connect to the source. So I think all the founders will have this common, that yes, they do that.
So, going down through it, switching gears for a second, let's talk about the token economics and how to design this token framework. How do you actually do that? I mean, what's going on with tokens, the token economics? Where is it now? The crypto's up. I don't hear much about NFTs anymore, by the way. So, in this space, but tell us about how to design, how to go down through and really take advantage of the token economics, the token economy.
No, thank you for asking this question, Gary. Uh, I've answered this question so many times that I think now I can just say it You ask me in a full people, like a crowd full of people, I'll say the same answer. But I'll try to sort of make it more relevant to the crowd. Probably not everyone might be working on token, but I'll take it up from these basic. The what what is a token, right? A token is a value representing system. That's it. When a company goes public, or when a company is private, what you do is you create profits, and that profits and the dividends are distributed to your shareholders. What it essentially means is that now whatever value you're generating in the company is being distributed to the shareholders. Now let's come to the token part of it. What is a token? A token is how you represent the value in that product, in that company, in that ecosystem. Now, one of the common mistakes that I've seen, and the reason we started learning more about token engineering, exploring about how it happens, is because back in 2018, 2019, when startups were coming up with token charts, saying, okay, I give 30% to investors, 40% to the 20% to the team, and 10% to this, and that's it. Right now, irrespective of what is their business model, their tokenomics was always a replica of the previous one, something that they found on internet. Now think about it. A token is the only interactive tool in a blockchain or a crypto company, right? What this means is when a user is interacting with the platform, when a creator is interacting with the platform, when the team is interacting with the creator and the user, all of them are exchanging value. And in return of value, you froze for a second. And in return of value, we have a token on as a counterpart. So essentially, in simple words, a tokenomics or a token engineering is a mix of psychology, right? Economics, right? And finance. Once when you bring, and fourth is game theory, which I think consider as a part of psychology itself, but let's say game theory. So when you bring all these four elements together, that's where you create a
Well, how does
token
game theory,
design.
Rishabh? How does theory play into this thing?
So game theory model is there are multiple game theory models, right? When you are building token design, what you are essentially trying to figure out is that how would these users react to the situation. Let's say there's a platform for creators called as a socialify. Now once you are creating rewards for people to participate, you will have to think of how will they react to this, right? And what game theory modeling is how do people interact with each other, how do they interact with the system state. And once you have modeled that, once you have figured out the probabilities of different situations, of different outcomes, that's where you say, okay, the outcome of this happening is the highest, the outcome of this happening is the second highest, and based on that, you allocate rewards, you allocate tokens. And that's how you end up creating a supply schedule that is aligned with the demand. Otherwise, what happens, the biggest failure of tokenomics is when your demand and when your supply is not aligned. So if your supply is over than more than your demand, you'll end up in a vicious cycle of token dump. If your demand is very much higher than the supply, then you will end up in a cycle of that token will always be so much in demand that it'll not be able to get adoption, and then become a play for just the VCs or
Yeah.
just the large institutions, right? But if you want to build up a scalable company which is decentralized like Bitcoin, where not a few people, not just few people cannot come together and say, okay, I'll dump the token today. For that, you need to create a balanced economy. A supply and demand should be aligned. Obviously, demand should be always higher than supply, but it shouldn't be very high, it shouldn't be very low, it should have to be moderately. That's where the token design has to come into the picture. How is the token accruing value, and how is the token being spent? If you think of these two answers, I think you will end up making the best design. Then if you think of the other question, which is how do the users and the creators and the contributors interact with the platform, you'll end up creating a probability model through which you'll end up design modeling the economics.
No,
So
that's
that's token
interesting.
engineering.
So the thing is, when you're going down through, the one thing I had a couple of groups on my show, and we talked about tokenizing goodness, right? Because we don't have a good enough goodness on this planet, and how do we get down through? And with kids, would be interesting to get down through and use these models to basically reinforce good behavior, right? Are you doing something out, helping somebody, those kind of things? So, how far does that go? How far can we help people do the right thing with tokens?
I think that's positive reinforcement and penalizing behavior, right? It's again psychology, like class psychology 101. Basically, if you go back in, not go back in time like hundreds of years, just let's say few years ago, when the reward point system came into, like in the world, when credit card companies started offering rewards for good behavior, when you pay back on time, you get some points. When you are paying, when you are booking the airlines well in advance, you get more points. When you are not going above beyond your due date of the payments by the banks, you get some rewards. When you go back again for a shopping experience, and then you do the shopping. So essentially, whatever behavior you want to encourage, you start rewarding that, and whatever behavior you want to discourage, you start penalizing that. Essentially, that's tokenization itself, right? And so I don't think tokenomics is something new. The only difference between the reward point system and tokenomics is that now reward points are infinite and there was no speculation on it. Tokens are not infinite, they can be, but mostly it's definite supply, and there is much more speculation attached to it. That's the only difference, right? Rewards points, although now are also tradable, there are exchanges for trading reward points, but tokens are more tradable, they have a larger volume overall. So good behavior, let's say you take up, um, there are different styles of doing it, but a lot of schools have this system where they put green flags and red flags to a kid's report card, based on their behavior throughout the year, and by the end of the year they reward them. So if you keep, the only change you can do is you increase the frequency of reward distribution, so that you can bring in more people, you can influence more kids to be, to perform, like to be like behave well. So I think that's how tokenization can happen. But speculation of goodness of tokenization is something which, I'm not sure how it would turn out because it's too volatile.
Well, you got to look at try to figure out do the right thing, right? Whatever right is. And I know
Yeah,
one of the
I mean
groups.
that was pun intended. Goodness is very volatile. It's so you'll end up being a highly speculative asset. But yeah, that's jokes apart. Yeah.
Listen, Rashad. We're coming up to the top of the show. So, closing thoughts and how do people get a hold of you?
Um, I think one thing which one message that I would like to convey to everyone through this platform is, uh, doesn't matter what you're doing today in life, like really doesn't matter. It could be, you could be serving people in a McDonald's, or you could be a CEO of McDonald's. You always at a position where you can influence and make an impact, right? And doesn't matter if you're making an impact in one life or 1,000 lives or a million lives. Like, even the biggest foundations, the biggest charity started with one person, two, three, and then scaled up. So don't wait for the moment till you're saying, okay, I'll do this once I can serve 20 people or 200 people. If you can serve even one person every month, do it. If you can create an impact for just one person, do it, because you don't know that how that one person impact what impact can it create. That one person can go and impact a million people just because he or she got help from you. They can actually go and impact a million plus. You don't know that. So don't shy away from, don't think about, that I'm not ready today. You are ready today. You're always ready to take that sleep. And no matter what you're doing, entrepreneurship is tough. It is going to be challenging, but just take that first step, and probably you will end up being the next McDonald's, or maybe the first of you. Not we don't know. As far as reaching to me is concerned, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. I find it as a platform to share my thoughts and share my what my reactions to what's happening in the world. So I'm pretty available there. I'm very active. I'll definitely reply to you within 2-3 days for that, to be very precise. Otherwise, I think my email is very much available on internet. I keep receiving a lot of emails. So find it, and you'll find me there in my email box as well.
Well, listen,
So
Rishabh, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today. We appreciate it. And thanks to all my audience for joining one more time. GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy. And we'll be back to you again with another exciting edition soon. Thank Rishabh. Appreciate it.
thank you, Gary. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you, everyone.
Yeah, we had a nice comment, by the way. Just I'll say this before we come out here. There was a nice comment, and somebody said that she really is enjoying Nuka. Loving this interview, super interesting. So just FYI, she liked what was going on with it. So good.
Thank you so much, Luca. Thank you.
Anyhow, take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you again later. Thank you.